Three, two, one, and look at us, we're live. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to start off by apologizing. I'm sorry I haven't been in the basement, and I don't know how long, but yours truly has been touring all over the world. It's getting ridiculous. And just at the time where I thought it was going to stop and I'd have some time off, it gets even crazier. We're talking about Boston, Chicago, Long Island, Staten Island, Rhode Island, all the islands. We're going to the islands. We're even going to go to, I don't know, the Hawaiian Islands. And today I actually booked a stand-up show in 2020 in Kentucky. That's where I always wanted to go. Nice Italian fella performing in Kentucky. We got a lot of stuff I want to talk about on today's show with yours truly, Mike Marino, live from my mother's basement. And also on my show today, we have the funny, the hilarious, the silly, the most incredible theater actress slash sketch artist slash singer. Pam DeButz is going to be on the show with us, obviously. She's here. Say hello. And we're going to get real with where she's performing and what she's got going on in her career. And we're going to talk about where I'm going, what I'm doing, and how we're going to make all that happen. And we're going to see what's going on in the world. And I have a little bit of a dedication to a specific and special entertainer in today's broadcast. We're going to talk about Pat DiNizio, the original lead singer in the highly acclaimed, unbelievable rock group, the Smithereens, who is also from my hometown, Scotch Plains, New Jersey. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. First of all, we're going to do some quick shout outs to Patricia Weiser, who I went to high school with and worked at the ShopRite with. Hello, Patricia. Nice to see you. And my dentist. We're always talking about my dentist. We talk about my dentist on my show. We talk about my dentist in my live feeds on Instagram. My dentist is going to be coming to see me this Saturday night at Joey Harrison's River House in Falkirk River, New Jersey. That's time that the Dr. Tom, can't even talk tonight. Maybe I need another joint. Tom Broithup, who's most incredible dentist. I went there this past week and got my checkup, and I have nothing wrong with my teeth. And I had a cleaning, and I had my x-rays, and we had a lot of fun, and he comes to my show. So, folks, if you need to see a dentist, if you're watching on Instagram right now, if you're watching right here on Facebook Live, if you need a dentist, I know there's a lot of dentists out there who can rip you off, and I'm afraid to get ripped off, you know, when they say, oh, yeah, you know, you need a set of dentures. That's bullshit, right? So I go to see Dr. Tom. Now, think about it. I live in California most of the time. I fly all the way to New Jersey and then drive an hour and a half to Audubon, New Jersey, to have my teeth looked at by Dr. Tom right now. And he's just the baddest. Mike even flosses. That's right. I floss. I hate flossing. I don't know who likes flossing. I like to choke myself when I'm flossing, but Dr. Tom is at the Audubon Family Dentistry in Audubon, New Jersey. This guy is badass, and he'll be at my show this Saturday night, July 6th, at Joey Harrison's River House in Falkirk River, New Jersey. We're going to talk about who's on that show and what we're doing. Right now, we'll do a nice quick shout out to Marklin, who has got his own show. Say hello. Everybody knows Marklin. And Marklin, Mr. Direct, Just Real, has a great talk show. The guy is badass. And Marklin, if you're watching right now, you got nothing to do. Why don't you pop on over? Come on over. You know we always got beers down in the basement. You got having beer. Cheers. Yeah, I got to take the top off. I didn't take the top off. I didn't take the top off my bottle yet because I have an antique bottle top flipper. Right? This is my niece, Samantha. Hey, Samantha. Me and Ray are watching. Okay, we'll keep on watching. All right, I'm going to open up this bottle of beer with this that I found this in the house like a long time ago. Used to open cans this way. Remember, you put the hole in the top of the can, like, and it shot up like that, but you don't do that anymore. Then they replaced that with, of course, the thing that you pulled, and then the other thing that you pulled, and then this goes like this, and they go like that, and there it is. So now everybody knows I collect antiques, and I can have a sip of my beer, and we can get the podcast underway. Not only are you watching me live right here on Facebook Live and on Instagram, but you're listening to my voice on ddvradio.com. That's right. Listen to my voice every Thursday night at 8 o'clock on ddvradio.com. Listen to my voice. Well, because you can't see me. You can see me now. I'll sing you a lullaby. Go to sleep. That's an Italian lullaby. Get the fuck in bed. And you're also listening to my voice on ItalianAmericanRadio.com out of New York City. And, of course, iTunes, iCloud, SoundCloud, you're a cloud. Get out of the clouds. What's your head doing in the clouds? And I love it every minute of it, right? Nancy Fogno, how you doing? Patricia Weiser, nice to see you. Big shout-outs to everybody watching tonight's show. And who else we got? There's Gennaro Pastore, ladies and gentlemen, one of the stars of the new pilot. I'm going to say it's a pilot right now. We can't talk too much about it. A pilot called Silent Partners. And Silent Partners was filmed in the last couple of months throughout the United States because they shot in many different states, including New Jersey, Miami, and, of course, Brooklyn, New York. And, Gary, if you're watching the show right now, I just went to Nunzio's Pizza. And when I went in there, everybody was saying congratulations to Gary Pastore and me, Mike Marino, and, of course, Ronnie Marmo, another guy from New Jersey, and Emilio DeFabio for being in the up-and-coming TV pilot Silent Partners. When this comes out, folks, this is going to make The Sopranos look a little bit on the weak side. And I can say that because, all right, well, maybe I can't say that, but this is going to be dangerous. This is going to be crazy. This is going to be fun. All right, so let's see who else is writing in. For some reason or other, this is not moving. All right, Gary, nice to see you. If you're not doing anything, Gary, you want to come over and have a beer with us, you can. Don't lose this transmission, sir. Thank you very much. Anthony S. Fiore, who's a great cameraman and a great host himself. And, of course, Jim Mulcahy. I hope I'm going to see you this weekend, Saturday night. Michael DiGennaro, who is absolutely one of the most incredible voices on the Wise Guys show out of North Jersey. And he was always saying Azu. So it's nice to see him. It's nice to see everybody. Thank you, everybody, for writing into the show this fast. Ricky D from Tom's River. Make sure you're in Forkett River on this weekend. Hey, Dawn, how you doing? Belfort Campbell. We met at the cruise ship in Montego Bay, Jamaica. I remember you said, Heeman, can you say something for me? All right, well, listen, you got to spell just a little bit better than that because I can't read gibberish. So Belfort Campbell, if you're the guy I'm thinking you are, then you're the guy who was making me pulled pork. So I remember you, and I love Jamaica. We got the wrong guy. Pull that pork. St. Lucie Friends with Lisa DiNizio. Hey, Dawn, how you doing? We're going to talk about that any minute now. I took my notes. I read the article. It's a little disappointing, quite honestly, but show business can be disappointing at times. So, Gary, thank you for watching. If you want to come to the show right now. We're in the basement. I can't tell everybody where we are, but I'm live from my mother's basement here. Nobody knows where we are. We're here in Scotch Plains. All right, let's sip this beer and get on with it.
Oh, man. Someone just over there says they're popping a beer in Toronto for you right now. See that?
Nico, how you doing, buddy? That's Connecticut. I'm sorry I couldn't talk to you before, but we love Connecticut, and I do have a show that I'm going to be doing on August 14th in Connecticut, and I'll give you all that information, all right? There's a lot of people watching tonight's show because I made a statement that I was going to be talking about a legendary singer who came out of my hometown. This is Scotch Plains, New Jersey. For everybody watching the show right now and listening, you probably already do know, but if you don't know, I was born in Jersey City, New Jersey. But at the age of 8 years old, I said 8 o'clock. One sip of beer, I don't know my age anymore.
To carry you out here.
Told you she's funny. This is the funny Pam the Butts. If I fuck up, she'll pick up the pieces. Have a slice of pizza for us here. Okay, well, hey, listen, since we are going to be talking about the legendary singer who came out of this hometown, Scotch Plains, New Jersey, the lead singer, the legend, the most incredible. I mean, when you listen to the music of the Smithereens, it takes you back in time when you were you first met the love of your life, and you were 14 years old, and you were coming out of junior high, and you heard that golden voice from Pat DiNizio, you know, Girl Like You, and Blood and Roses. It just gives you chills, and you miss those days. But she's writing in, she's saying, have a slice of pizza, because everybody in Florida knows the best pizza, especially people in California know the best pizza is in the state of New Jersey. So if you're going to have a slice of pizza, you come to New Jersey. Maybe New York, depends on how close to New Jersey you are when you're in New York. Okay, but here's what we're going to do, because late this afternoon, Pam and I went over to Nunzio's. Doesn't say Nunzio's on the pizza box, but we went over to Nunzio's Pizza right here in Scotch Plains on Mountain Avenue. I don't know how many owners there's been there since it was the original Nunzio's, but we went and we got ourselves some pizza. Look at this. Look, this is how you want your pizza. You want, this one got pepperoni. I had meatballs. Pam had a sandwich. What was your sandwich?
It was delicious. I don't know. It had mozzarella cheese, pesto, a lot of things. I still taste the garlic. It's amazing.
Listen, when you go to an Italian place like this and you don't have a slice of pizza and you get mozzarella and you get red peppers and some garlic and pesto sauce on a roll, it's just delicious. I went for the pizza. I wanted to be traditional. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're out there watching, I need you to go to Nunzio's Pizza. The kids are great. The family is great. Nick, the guy who was in there, he gave me a couple slices on the house. They use Lucatelli cheese, our sponsor. And I have a menu for Nunzio's Pizza. Like I said, I collect antiques like the bottle opener. Just like the bottle opener, I have an antique menu from Nunzio's. The prices are a little different. The prices are a little different. They may have increased a little bit. I remember my mother used to order from this, and she circled her favorite thing.
I said that spaghetti.
Ziti, she spelled it wrong. So, hey, you know what's really tear-jerking? Come on, we're talking about the Smithereens. We're talking about the music from back in the 70s and the 80s with the Smithereens. And there's my mother's handwriting when she circled, make sure you get me an order of baked ziti with spaghetti and the meatballs and a salad. She wrote that down. And for some reason or other, she crossed out chicken parmesan. Nobody makes it better than your mother. She even got a phone number. Oh, look at my mother's handwriting. Call Michael. He's late. So I have this menu. It has my mother's handwriting on it. We're talking about Nunzio's Pizzeria, Mountain Avenue, Scotch Plains, New Jersey. Give him a call. My friend Nick works in there. Big shout out, Nunzio's Pizza on Mountain Avenue in Scotch Plains. And also, we'll do a quick shout out to one of my other favorite places, okay, John's Meat Market, which is a butcher shop on Clark Avenue in the town of Scotch Plains. And right next to John's Meat Market is Florence Ravioli. Florence Ravioli. If you want to get some cold cuts, we don't say deli meats, we say cold cuts. You can say whatever you want. Cold cuts, specialties. You want your house catered. You want your party catered. I was going to say you want your house catered. You want your talk show catered. That's what you do. Half a beer, I'm lit. Hey, Rosemary, how you doing? John Cito, I went to his cigar bar. It's a cigar bar in the middle of nowhere. Nobody knows about it, only me. Okay, so Dawn and everybody else who's watching in the DiNizio family, the DiNizio family. Hey, John Peasy, how you doing? Hi, Valerie, how you? How you? Quite some time ago, one of the greatest bands of all time, I was talking about it just a second ago, was the Smithereens. Now, I don't know if you know a lot about the Smithereens. That might be a little bit before your time.
A little bit. I still heard of it.
But the Smithereens just were like the coolest rock and roll band, and everybody in the town of Scotch Plains was just so proud to be part of this hometown era because he lived here, Pat and the bandmates, and they came from here and they wrote really, really great songs. And unfortunately, in 2017, we lost the legendary Pat DiNizio. Now, he had some ailments. I'm not exactly sure what his ailments were. And later in life, when he started getting older, his health wasn't just all that fantastic. And if you know anything these days about medication, folks, some medication can actually make things worse. They make things worse trying to make things better. So there's these people out there who start taking some kind of steroid, and the steroid, I'm not saying this is in Pat's case, but they take the steroid and they take this medication, and it makes things worse for you. And there's some people who take this medication, like steroids, and they get heavy, real heavy, rapidly. I have a friend who has Parkinson's and another friend who has MS, and they started taking these drugs to help them through what they're going through, and they blow up. I mean, you're talking like 100 pounds in no time. And, you know, maybe somebody says, okay, it's water weight or at this kind of weight. No, it's bad. It's really bad. And then eventually the end comes, and, you know, so it was one of those things. They played a lot in Hoboken at Maxwell's. Thank you, Joe Calamita, for saying that. Joe Calamita has a great magazine. He's a great writer, and he's a great friend, and he's from Jersey City, Bayonne, Hoboken area. And yes, so thank you very much for saying that, Joe. We're talking, of course, about Pat DiNizio from the Smithereens, and also Patricia Weiser is writing in about my mother and my father and my family, and my family's all great and fun. Anyway, recently, an article came out in a newspaper, and it said that a new singer was going to fill in and take the place of Pat DiNizio of the Smithereens, and that singer is Marshall Crenshaw. Now, a lot of people know Marshall Crenshaw. He had some hits, and, you know, he was from back in the day as well, 70s and the 80s. I'm really not familiar with his music, and I'm not really familiar with the songs that he had that were hits. But I know that he did, because, of course, I know the name. And being in the industry, we kind of know each other out on the street as well, because me being a comedian, I might host a music festival from time to time, and I get to meet these singers. And that's how I became friends with Pat myself, because I was hosting the Light of Day Music Festival in Asbury Park, and I met the E Street Band, and I met Marshall Crenshaw, and I met the Smithereens, and I got to meet all these cats, Outside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes, and so on and so forth. That's how I became friends with Vinnie Mad Dog Lopez, who is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for being in the band. Hey, I never said I was that good of a talker. But anyway, the Hall of Flame. Hey, it's Pride Day. Hey, Hall of Flame. Anyway, in this article, if I can get to the point, Marshall Crenshaw wasn't really speaking all that well of Pat DiNizio. And some of Pat's family reached out to me and said, hey, did you see this? And then I read it, and I said, well, maybe there's a little bit of something that I could do about it, and I will talk about it on my show. And what he said was that he knew Pat from time to time, and they met from time to time. And he said he met him at a time when Pat was, you know, let's say, thin and in his prime, and everything was going great. But then some years went by, and he met Pat when he was unhealthy, and Pat was heavy. Anybody who knew Pat in the last few months of his life, he was very overweight, but he wasn't overweight because he's some kind of, you know, guy who decides that this is what I want to be, this is what I look like. He was unhealthy, and he was taking medication, and that's what happened. And that's very, very sad. So Marshall Crenshaw said he was disappointed with the way he looked. He was disappointed about the way he looked and what he became. And he didn't say that he was like a fantastic singer, that he was the most unbelievable entertainer. He kind of almost slighted him in a way to say he wasn't all that big of a deal. And we read that. And now I guess he's trying to build himself up in a way, saying, hey, I'm Marshall Crenshaw, and I am now going to be the lead singer of the Smithereens, and watch where we go now. Well, now, wait a minute. That's some bullshit, folks. It really is. My mother taught me when I was a kid, if you have nothing good to say about somebody, don't say anything at all, because it could come back to haunt you and bite you in the ass. Yes, what was that?
You don't have anything nice to say about anybody, come sit by me. No.
Fantastic. Well, in this situation, let's say to Marshall Crenshaw, you're lucky. You're lucky, because now if you're going to be the front man of a band like the Smithereens, you got lucky, because the band is fantastic. And we're going to miss Pat. I don't know what it's going to be like to see Marshall out there singing the songs that were put out by Pat. Blood and Roses, Girl Like You. Ah. Yep, I remember all that stuff. So we're going to say, Marshall Crenshaw, if you happen to be watching this show, watch what you say. Be a good guy. And when you fill the shoes of the big man, Pat DiNizio, do it right. Tomorrow morning when I go running down the corner on Scotch Plains, I'll cross over when I'm running around the corner doing my exercising, and I pass the church. Someone's at my front door.
How'd they find us?
I don't know. Could you get it? Could you get it?
Who is it?
It's probably.
Okay.
Go around the back.
Not enough room back here. We both ate pizza. Hold on.
Anyway, so Marshall Crenshaw, do the right thing, say the right thing, and get ready to fill the shoes of the big man, our legendary superstar entertainer from my hometown, Scotch Plains, New Jersey, Pat DiNizio of the Smithereens. Miss you, Pat. And what I was saying before, I go jogging every morning, especially around this time of year. I run by St. Bart's and I see that big sign that says Pat DiNizio Way. So there it is, Pat DiNizio. I hope his family and everybody who's watching right now likes the little tribute that I did to this legendary singer. And maybe one of these days I'll knock on the door and I'll say hello to his mom and introduce myself. So thank you, John Peasy, for saying that. Thank you, Dawn. That's right. You go, Dawn. Jersey people stick together, so watch yourself, Crenshaw. All right. I'm glad I had the opportunity in my career to actually do this type of a thing. And once again, you're not only watching me here live on Facebook Live, but also Instagram.
Look who I found.
Come on, Pam. And we just got one of my friends to drop by. Imagine getting invited to a sit down, a little bit of a party, because your podcast is rolling and you can actually say to people, hey, listen, if you know where I live, why don't you stop by? So we're going to talk with Pam a little bit now about her career in the comedy world. And then another celebrity here in my hometown of Scotch Plains just dropped by, and his name is Markland, Mr. Direct, Just Real. There he is. He's always so humble. I don't know why this man rang my front doorbell. He's family, and all family know you come around the back and you just walk in. So we're going to do that. Watch. Wait a minute. At least move this camera. There's Markland right there. He's got some cool stuff going on in his career, too. And I know he's running a lot of places to perform. So let's talk to Pam. Now, this is Pam DeButts, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Pam, in the female comedian world, which they used to say at one time comedian, but now it's everybody's either a comic or a comedian, like actor, actress. Now it's just actor. Me, I prefer to be called an actor, and I would rather a girl would just be an actress. But that's like airline steward or flight attendant. I call all flight attendants the same thing. Server. Yes, I was trying to be sarcastic and funny. Listen, we're trying to get a phone call right now. This guy's been trying to call in for quite some time. He probably wants to talk to Pam. Hey, Trey, cool. How you doing? Elliot, you're on the air. Hello. This shit never works. Go live with him? Okay, so none of this shit works. Great. Yeah, everybody knows but me. I've been hitting this button for 2 years now. So Pam, tell us, what is it like to be a female comedian in the comedy world?
That's a very broad question. I think it's difficult. It's just like being a comedian in general is not the easiest thing. But you love it. You do it because you love it.
I think we all entertainers have a love-hate relationship with being a performer. When you're performing, you're happy.
Most
When
of
you're
the time,
well,
yes.
and when you're looking to perform, you're miserable because it's not easy to get. And then there's people in the industry that say dumb shit.
People out of the industry say something. So, it's just gotta get those earmuffs on.
Well, yeah, and it's difficult. But a female comedian has to tough out, hey, look at you.
Sexism,
Okay,
yeah.
so she said it. So tell us about that.
I didn't even know this was gonna be my feminist speech moment. What would you like to know?
There aren't that many female comedians as opposed to male comedians. Male comedians dominate the business. For every 10 comedians on stage, you might see a female performer. And usually they got to keep up with the Joneses somehow. And how does a female comedian do that?
Female does that by just giving her own unique perspective and just being good at what she does. I know a lot of times people say, oh, females aren't funny. That used to be a thing. So sometimes you think you might have to try like 10 times harder to be funny. But just.
So you love reading the fan mail, right?
Sorry.
I think it's a form of therapy. Oh, it's very therapeutic to get on stage and spit out your guts.
Yeah.
I love it myself. They create their own style.
Yeah, everybody has to create their own voice and create their own style. And I think and back in the day, I think it was a lot harder. We had a lot of trailblazer, like female comedians back in the day, Phyllis Diller, Joan Rivers, that really, really, really helped out female comedians. Nowadays, what's this? They can't hear me.
Just talk a little louder.
Okay.
Talk a little louder.
Okay. Yeah.
Lean in. Lean in.
Broad
Lean
questions
in.
to answer. I'm having to speak for like every female comic who's ever tried it. I'm gonna say something wrong.
Pam happens to be hysterical.
Thank
she also
you.
writes songs, and in her songs, she talks about men dating and what it's like to be in a relationship or get out of a relationship and stuff like that. Yeah, it's very hot down here in the basement.
It says women in the biz are no longer the black sheep. Yeah, less so than it was back in the day, I would say.
Okay, then. There's a lot of female comedians that usually do stand up about. Fantastic. Women in the biz are no longer the black sheep. What exactly is that, Pete?
Normally the black sheep is the person in the family that doesn't quite fit in. So yes, so females being with a bunch of males, yes, might not always fit in. I mean, I don't know. Is there a kitchen down there? There is.
Yes. There's a kitchen down here right next to the washer and the dryer. And the washer and dryer is right next to a big ugly sink and a boiler room and a television and a band. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Hello, Mark.
Pam says thank you very much.
I'm like, I can't, I don't read minds. You're like, and they always talk about, and then they say, are we playing Mad Libs right now?
Comedy world is a very difficult life.
Yeah.
Usually in the beginning, you have to have a part-time job, but you go out every night and come home very, very late and don't make that much money. You got to go to open mics all over the globe and try your best in your hand at just making a few people laugh. Pam is working her way up right now. Mm-hmm. We've shared the stage many different times together, mm-hmm. and we've had a lot of fun because our comedy is very opposite, which it's very different, which is a good contrast for everybody in the audience to have some fun watching.
Yeah, because I'm not Italian at all, which I don't even know if I'm even allowed down here.
I think this weekend, after I do this show on July 6th, July 7th, I'm going to be doing a show with Pam, and we're going to be entertaining at a retirement community. This is one of the most difficult type of shows to do because you have to be squeaky clean. You can't even say the word ass. They'll have a heart attack. You got to say buttocks. Sorry, I burped up my pizza. But Pam will be on the show with me as well, and she's going to be entertaining an audience with the average age is 85.
Can't wait.
Yes. Sometimes we get these incredible bookings.
Well, yeah, I mean, there are some things that are relatable to all ages, and who knows? I mean, sometimes people say they want to speak it clean, and sometimes the most surprising audiences say, "Tell us a dirty joke."
Well, I would want to hear a dirty joke myself. But if she tells a joke on Sunday night in front of all these old people,
I would not. Yeah. I don't.
Their bingo days are over.
Now they're making bingo better. What are you talking about? Bingo just got fun.
Bingo better.
Bingo.
Bada boom, bada bing. We're going to play Italian bingo. Bada bingo. It's getting really hot down here for some reason or other. These beers are getting warm. Martin, did you want a beer or anything? Help yourself, man. The refrigerator's all yours. We're going to do this real quick, if you don't mind. Pam is going to be doing some performances this week and next week, and of course throughout the entire year. If you want to find Pam, would you tell us where they can find you and look for your work?
Yeah, you want to follow me on Instagram, Pam DeButts. Follow me on Facebook, Pam DeButts. I'm almost my name is not that popular, so I'm really easy to find.
Pam DeButts.
Yeah, but don't get me confused with somebody else who had taken my name mostly. There's the Brazilian adult actress who had taken most of my name. Her name is Pamela Butt, and now everybody's going to quick jump off this and go Google her. Yeah, so don't get us confused. And the only reason I ever found out about that was because I had a Twitter for my comedy, and all of a sudden I started getting all of these followers that only spoke Portuguese. And so I thought I was so hilarious that even people who don't speak English, wanted to follow my comedy, and that was not the reason. They were looking for somebody else who doesn't do comedy. She does other things.
Yes, Pam got confused with a porn star.
We don't even look alike, but
yeah. That's going to be a tough one. I was never confused with a porn star. But anyway, another guy who happens to be running some places to perform is our friend Marklin. And they call him Marklin Scotch Plains, but his show is called Mr. Direct, Just Real. And he stopped by to hang out and talk to us. So I'm going to turn the camera over to him real quick. Maybe he could tell us where we could locally go see what he's doing, because I saw on the internet tonight he posted out 6 different shows. Yeah. Hey, Marklin, what's going on, buddy?
Yo, what's going on? It's your man, Mr. Direct, doing what he does best, playing video games.
I like your shirt, by the way, Marklin.
I thank you. It is complete sarcastic comment everywhere I go. The looks that I get from people in the middle of Acme when I go shopping is hilarious. You wore that in public? Yes, I did. Why? Do I look like I want to talk to your ass? No, I don't. Can't you read? Reading is comprehension. I mean, come on, it's fundamentalist. Come on. No, I'm starting to do a show. It's called the Union County Comedy Series. 3 locations, the first Saturday of every month. Meaning that every first Saturday it'll be at a different location. So we have a place up in Berkeley Heights, which is, I call it the Italian American Club in Berkeley Heights. But I actually have the guy's name. Here it is. It's actually called the Mount Caramel Society, Mount Caramel Caterers. And then I have Shillings Crossings. Shillings Crossings is going to be a little bit tough because it's 11 o'clock at night. So we're going to see how we're going to be able to get that going. And I've actually just got a phone call about the 3rd location. We're not sure if it's locked down. But every first Saturday starting October 5th, you will be able to come and see different comedians in different venues and enjoy yourself. And you never know. Mike might stop in one day. And if he stops in, I got to throw him on stage. So everybody else I have a couple of New York comics coming through. I'm hosting, by the way. If you marry Mr. Direct, he knows his Jam this Sunday in Fanwood. I just did Fan Jam. That was fun. 5,000 people, the most I've ever done in front of people ever. So that was fun. I also do the open mic at Chillins Crossings every 2 weeks on Thursdays, every 2 Thursdays, or the second or fourth Thursday, one of those, I don't know. But there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm trying to get to the point where I'm hosting so much that I can test my material, and then I want to get to the point that by the time on my 50th birthday, I'm going to headline my own show. That's the goal. My 50th birthday, I'm going to headline my own show.
When he turns 50, he's going to be headlining his own show. When I turn 50, I'm going to have a podcast. Sorry, I almost spilled my milk. Marklin, where can they find you, buddy? Mr. Direct Just Real.
Jusreal. They can find me. If they hunt me underneath my regular name, I got bad credit and I have no tickets. Bad credit and no tickets. So just look Mr. Direct and you can find everything.
Bad credit, no tickets. It's a half winning.
But if you're an eligible woman out there and you have good credit, you need to talk. I'm looking for any woman with good credit. That's just a joke. I'm not for real.
Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we do have to get going. We've been talking on all these crazy subjects live from my mother's basement down here with Pam DiButts, and of course, Mr. Marklin came down to say hello, and our little tribute to Pat DiNizio, lead singer, may he rest in peace, of the Smithereens. Hopefully, Marshall Crenshaw will do the right thing when he takes over. Yours truly is still on tour, ladies and gentlemen, so if you're on the Jersey Shore this weekend, July 6th, come and see me. I will be at Joey Harrison's River House in Forkett River, New Jersey, produced by the famous Catch a Rising Star. That's right, July 6th, this weekend at 7:30, Joey Harrison's River House in Forkett River, New Jersey, produced by Catch a Rising Star, starring Michael Schwartz, who's emceeing the show, and of course, Jacqueline Marfuji, whose father owns Locatelli Cheese. Don't forget, we're sponsored by Locatelli Cheese. If you're going to cut the cheese, make sure it's Locatelli. Do you understand? From there, I'm going back out on tour. So from there, I'm going to go on to a cruise ship, be out in the middle of nowhere. But if you're watching in California, ladies and gentlemen, back at the Ha Ha Comedy Club in North Hollywood on July 26th. That's the Ha Ha Comedy Club, July 26th in North Hollywood. Then I'll come back to the East Coast, and I'm going to start so many shows. In the month of August, it's going to be out of control. 4 shows a week, from the Catskills to upstate New York, Pleasantville, New York, Rye, New York, Westchester, New York, even Connecticut, and then on to Boston. All you got to do is go to MikeMarino.net. In fact, nobody subscribed during this show. I need you to go to MikeMarino.net, subscribe to the show, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and subscribe to my life so I can come into your life and make sure you stay on track, making America Italian again. On behalf of Pam DiButts, or Marklin, our friend, rest in peace, Pat DiNizio, I want to say goodnight. Make America Italian again. Remember, you don't know none, you didn't see none, you don't say none. And how do I end every one of my broadcasts? By always saying the same thing. Come on, everybody. Don't take no shit from nobody. Nobody said it. I was the only one that said it. I don't think. Hey, folks, I hope you're enjoying watching my podcast live from my mother's basement. We're having a lot of fun, and I'm going to have a lot of great guests on the show in the future. So if you like it, hit like. You could also leave a comment. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch other funny videos. And you could also listen to my podcast on your favorite podcast app like Spotify and iTunes.